Well, congratulations to the Louisville Kings. The better team won today, and the third time was the charm for Louisville. They now beaten DC all three times this year, and all three times they've played between these two franchises. And the third time was not a charm for the defenders. The story of this game, well, one of the stories, DC ran out of quarterbacks when you saw Jason Beam go down in that third quarter. I just held my breath because I knew he took a beating out on him last week. It came in benched up this week. And when he went down, and knowing that I know E.J. Perry is behind him, and if you've been following my videos, I've not been a fan of E.J. Perry. I know he seems to be a nice guy. He loves football. They speak high of him, but I was not a fan of him with the Memphis Showboats, and I certainly wasn't a fan of him with the Michigan Panthers. It was a tale of two halves, where the DC offensive line dominated that run game. In the second half, it was pretty much all Louisville. And it was if it had been for Matt McCrane, I don't think this would have been much of a game, because that 4-point field goal after the ridiculous offensive pass interference, a holding penalty, then a stupid super challenge by Shannon Davis, which I understand why he threw that. And of course, you see him complaining, I thought you guys were going to let us play. Well, once you bring up the Dean Blandino, there's no way he's going to say, okay, yeah, we were going to let you play. I'm going to look the other way. That was a stupid, wasted challenge. A waste of a timeout. Then it was so disoriented, they end up burning another timeout. McCrane saved their bacon for a while with the 4-point field goal. But on this day, it was the Louisville Kings offensive line that took over that second half. 14 points within the first few minutes of the fourth quarter. You can pretty much turn your sets off there. DC, the Heat got the DC, and it was hot out there today. I mean, listen, around here it was 85 and humid. Down there, they said it said it was over 100 degrees in the sun. It was a lot cooler in the shade. Of course, since DC, they say, was the visiting team, they weren't on their sideline with the shade. But hey, Louisville deserved to be the higher seed. They deserve to be the champions, and they are the champions. So the year ends with a new team being the UFL champions. Congratulations to Redmond, Chandler Rogers, and listen, they made a big shift in the offensive line in the middle of the year when things weren't going good. They got rid of Jason Beam, promoted Chandler Rogers, brought in Durillo from DC. Now listen, everything Redmond did worked like a charm. So Louisville fans, from this DC fan, you guys were the better team. Well deserved. Until next year, for the love of football, we'll speak to you later.